Hey, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Listen, there's a lot of information for us to cover tonight, and we are in the final, basically, closing moments before the end of this election, which means what we're talking about today matters significantly. We are in crunch time. And if you look at the Real Clear Politics average today, Michigan flopped back over into Harris category, which means she's one step closer to actually being the victor in this race. And I have a feeling that she's going to end up with Michigan. I've been saying that. I've been telling Amy Heights she really needs to pray about a new state. No, I'm just kidding. We need good people in all states. But I do feel like Michigan's going to be a little problematic. I don't know about Nevada. Nevada, again, is one of those states. We have no idea what's going on. If she gets the two of those, what is that? 21 electoral votes swung her way. Donald Trump basically has to get Pennsylvania in order to win. He has to get North Carolina. He has to get Georgia. If he gets Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, it's it. He's won. So we could know possibly 1 week from today by about 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. if he's the winner of this election, because it's really going to boil down to those three states. Now, if Kamala Harris ends up winning Pennsylvania, she has to win Michigan and she has to win Wisconsin, both. So one of those other states could drop towards Trump category and it still puts him in the victory bucket, unless she ends up picking up a combination that's equal to that out of, Nevada and maybe flip-flopping another state. Guys, it is so hard to tell what's actually going on in this election. I can tell you that the Republican Party, Donald Trump's team, is saying again and again and again and again how important it is for us to have all hands on deck and pretending like this race is neck and neck and neck. And from my perspective, I think that this is a neck and neck race. Now, we're looking at some of the early voting numbers that are coming out, and according to what I'm seeing in some of the early voting numbers, Donald Trump is far outperforming any expectation that he's had in previous elections. In 2016, he was not doing well in early voting. 2020, he was extremely bad performing in early voting. And now in this election, he's way outperforming anything that they ever thought he could have accomplished. But that being said, it's still a tricky, sticky situation as people have been going to the polls earlier. And one of the things that we're actually seeing, Amish people going out to the polls. Now, I want you to put this down in the comment section or put it in the chat. The Amish are voting early in Lancaster County. Let me know. Do you think the Amish are voting Donald Trump, or do you think the Amish are voting Kamala Harris? Put it in the comment section. Let me know. Do you think Amish are voting Trump, or do you think they're voting Kamala Harris? I have a feeling that they're voting probably for Kamala Harris. I mean, for Donald Trump. I mean, I don't know that, but I think that they probably are. This says, listen, as a Pennsylvania cop says they cut early voting at 1:45 p.m. They're supposed to keep it open till 5.
Okay, so
Again, there's a lot of tomfoolery going on.
That's a box of.
I have a question. I have to bring someone here about 4 o'clock to vote. Are they
I'm
gonna?
going to ask you to talk to
Are they
this.
gonna turn everyone down?
I'm going to ask you to talk to this gentleman because the voting is closed right now.
It's closed.
I just want you to talk to this gentleman.
We have the right to vote until 4:30.
I get you. Here's
Why
what
is it
happened.
closed?
Let me explain it to you.
Please.
Okay. This process is very slow and grueling.
That doesn't matter if we're online.
Very slow and grueling.
Doesn't matter if we're online by 4:30. We have the right
reason
to
why it
vote.
had to close was because a high volume of people wanted to do this. Slow and grueling.
Well, then they
So
have
they
to
had
wait
to-
till everyone's.
They had to cut the line at 1:45.
They cut the line at 1:45.
1:45.
You hear that, everyone? They cut the line at 1:45.
Here's your. here's the
This
form
is
right here.
voter fraud, by the way.
No, it's
Who?
not.
Yes, it is. Oh, voter protection. I heard about that on X. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Contact
Voter protection. Let's see what that's
contact
from.
the county commissioners to complain.
This is, and so you don't think this is voter fraud? This is voter fraud. See that, everyone? They cut the line, even though we have till 4:30. Election fraud.
What do you guys think? Is it voter fraud? Tell me how they're even cutting it early. It doesn't make sense to me. Why are they allowed to cut it early? Somebody explain to me why they're allowing to cut it early.
Here in Bucks County. And you have an oath. I mean, don't you care? I mean, like, really? This is ridiculous. They're not accepting anyone else.
Oh, did they cut off for today?
They cut it off because of election fraud. That's why they cut it off.
That's incorrect. It's actually posted online that they can cut it
No,
off.
it's election fraud.
It's not.
It's
but
election
okay.
fraud. What are you voting for the left? It's election fraud. They're open till 4:30. Everyone in the line has the right to vote until 4:30.
On election day.
No, this is election day.
I got it videotaped.
This is ridiculous. I just got a video.
So you guys tell me what you think. Again, the governor of Pennsylvania made a declaration that it has to stay open until 5 p.m.
Do you have a certificate to be a poll watcher?
I don't have to answer you, and you may leave.
No, this is a public place. I don't have to. Because I see your tag, and
You don't have the right to talk to me. So
this is America and a public place, so I have every right to talk
And
to you.
you
By the way, Cat Joy, thank you, Michelle, Kenneth, Jennifer Swain, Amy Heights, and Amy Heights again says the machines went down in 2 counties. They said, what machines are going down in 2 counties? I want to know. By the way, YouTube added a new feature today where they actually let you set a goal for super stickers. We set a goal of 30 super stickers. They have to be $5 or above to count on this goal thing for some reason. I'm going to see if I can fix it or change it tomorrow. So can we try to get 30, $5 and above? We'll see. I know it's kind of an audacious goal, but it's the first time that they're ever allowing us to actually have that little bullseye thing with the goal, and I'd like to try to accomplish it. So do you guys think who's right or wrong? Woman in purple, woman behind the camera.
have a right to lie.
So
on
are
it.
you a poll watcher?
I am here for early vote monitoring.
For
It's
early vote
different.
monitoring. Oh,
Different.
early vote monitoring. Early
You
vote
do
monitoring.
not have my permission to videotape.
This is public.
I don't give a
Do
damn.
you know the law?
Yes,
Do
I
you-
do.
Oh, you do. So then do you know that I'm allowed to videotape you in public?
No, you don't have a right.
Yes,
to
I do.
videotape
This is
me.
public.
I have told you, you
This
do
is
not.
public.
First Amendment. Thank you.
Do you have a certificate to be?
So I think, in public, there's reasonable, you can record, just is the way it is. Okay. Republicans take the lead. Guys, in New Jersey, in in-person early voting. Vote even if you don't live in what's considered to be a swing state. The Republicans are leading the early voting in New Jersey, 144 to 139. I cannot believe that. This is at the Galleria Mall in Henderson, Nevada. The voting line is 2,000 people deep. So far, all the folks in behind are voting Trump. Trump. They're setting a record early voting record.
In New Jersey, no issues except they were concerned about my shirt. But I said, there's no campaign anything there. I just love America. I just voted early in New Jersey. No issues except.
Okay, early in New Jersey. Bucks County, Pennsylvania sent out officers in the middle of early voting to stop people from standing in line. Okay.
It's 2:41, and they are ending the line. It's 2:41.
Are you ready? You ready? What's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with me. I'm American. I'm hyped. I'm hyped because I'm American and I get to vote. That's why I'm so hyped. Why I get to vote? I've been voting since I was 18. I get one of these stickers that say I voted. You know why? I'm so excited because that's my power. My power to choose who I want to represent me.
A supporter of President Trump was arrested today for encouraging people to stay in the early voting line.
That's crazy. You locked her up?
I cannot believe that they're turning people away from voting. I cannot believe it.
Not my will, but yours be done. And it's crazy because you really have to trust that God is on the throne. So I fought, I campaigned, I influenced according to my beliefs and my convictions. And I stood. And I stood my ground. I stood my ground. And I'm standing my ground. And so after I've done all that I can as an American citizen, I have to constantly say, Lord, not my will, but yours be done. And cover America in prayer, fasting, and praise. So yeah, I never thought.
I think she's right on the money. It's going to take prayer and fasting, without a doubt. Now,
Republican nominee for Attorney General.
Okay, I don't really want to listen to that guy. Ex-Obama voter says he's now voting for Trump after realizing that Obama was a fraud.
You know, at the time I was still serving in the Army, deploying, and you know, it didn't take me a year to realize that he was a fraud. So I stopped supporting him.
You guys agree with this guy? How many people in the chat you'd say you think that Obama is a fraud? Go ahead if you think he's a fraud. Put it in the chat.
Start questioning other people about him and realize that we truly only voted for this man because he is a black man. And I just felt really duped because he is the first person that I voted for that I actually truly believed was the symbol of hope and change. So I'm disenfranchised at that point. 2016, I didn't vote for the same reason, just disenfranchised, not falling for it again. Trump wins. And then I just watched this man and watch the media just try to rip him apart after him being the gold standard of success in America for decades.
I think that's the thing that a lot of people are mad about, especially that population. They feel ripped apart by Barack Obama, and it turns out that he was a fraud. They thought that he was like sort of the standard bearer for African Americans, and it turns out he's nothing but a crooked, money-hungry, power-greedy, nasty man, in my opinion.
What's up, you guys? Diligent Denizen here. As you can see behind me, there's an officer blocking entry into the Lancaster government building where early voters have been lined up all day. Now, they just told me that there is a very long line still inside the building.
So how are they even doing this? Like, so I'm going to put these binoculars on and try to zoom in and try to figure out how on earth are they even doing this? And how is it allowed? How on earth is it allowed that somebody, the police can actually be in a situation where they're preventing people from voting? Somebody tell me how that's even possible. The police are saying, sorry, we can't let you in to vote. Somebody tell me how that's even possible.
It goes back in and wraps around. Scott Pressler is estimating we might be here for another hour and a half. That just kind of tells you how long this process is taking. And so if you still have a chance, if you are in one of the counties where the line was shorted today, for example, in Bucks County, the GOP said that their litigation team talked to the county officials and that if you were in line and you were disenfranchised from your vote, they're going to allow people to come back and request an early ballot and turn it in tomorrow.
I don't even know how that's possible. Let me show you guys something. Believe it or not, guys, Chris Cuomo, of all people, which we've been watching this on News Nation over the course of about the last 18 months. It feels like he's taking a turn towards supporting more of the Republican side. And so Chris Cuomo is defending the MAGA movement.
Cuomo. Rob, if you have a clip from Chris said some words and it went viral. And a ton of people on social were reacting to it. Vinny, I'm coming to you first with this one here. Rob, whenever you're ready, go ahead and play it. There's music, guys. If the music offends you, gotta stick around. Go ahead, Rob.
You got to stop thinking that the people who support Trump are like Trump, that they speak like Trump, that they act like Trump. They don't. They want to hire Trump to do a dirty job. They want him to be a virus to the political corpus. They want him to disrupt, to destroy, to demean those that they disrespect and dislike, the system that they distrust and despise. They want someone to do what they believe has been done to them and that they cannot do themselves. That's why they don't care that he exhibits terrible behavior, because they're putting him into a terrible place. If you're sending somebody into the jungle, do you really care if they're a savage? You see what I'm saying? And you have to understand it that way. You may not agree, you may not accept, you may not like, but that's what it is.
I absolutely love it.
I mean, the fact that like we're seeing a Kennedy come over, we're seeing the former co-chair of the Democratic National Committee, Tulsi Gabbard, come over. I mean, you're seeing Chris Cuomo, whose family is elite Democratic Party. His dad was a governor. His brother was a governor. He himself has been a commentator supporting propaganda on the left for all of these years. And now, he said that he's hated Trump forever and ever and ever, can't stand Trump, blah, 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 nothing he would ever do to support Trump. And then this election cycle rolls around, and it sounds a whole lot like, to me, he's supporting Donald J. Trump.
I mean, little too late. 8 years later, Chris, who I like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I know a lot of people out there, listen, he's made a lot of mistakes, but he's absolutely right. And he's seen, by the way, he's not 100% on Trump. But question though, before I get into it, do you guys think he's voting this election for Kamala Harris? If you guys had to guess, who is Chris Cuomo voting for? Or is he sitting it out?
I think he's going to sit it out. Chris was a Bobby guy. Absolutely.
He's sitting it out. I'm
just saying, I know he was a Bobby guy.
Yeah, I know that
Bobby
too.
Kennedy, yeah.
But I'll let you answer at the end. But it's taken Chris 8 years.
A lot of the Republican commentators are making a great point lately. They're saying, and I think it's so crystal clear. They're saying, listen, when you're voting for Trump, you're not just voting for Trump. You're voting for Tulsi. You're voting for RFK. You're voting for Elon Musk. Go down the list of all of these people who've kind of hopped over and began to support him. This is sort of a once in a generation, maybe once in a lifetime actual like super party where people are saying, listen, the left has gone off into woke land and none of what they're doing makes sense. They're mutilating young children. They're putting tampons in boys' bathrooms. They're, making it so politically correct that every single thing that you say is actually offensive. They're murdering babies, doing post-birth abortions in several states. And so many people are rising up to it and saying, listen, we can't get behind this and support it. By the way, Cat Joy says kind of nuts. I agree. Jennifer Swain says, as long as you're in line before closing, you can vote. That's illegal. This is what the governor of the state, Josh Shapiro, came out and said. He said, keep it open till 5 p.m. And the fact they're closing it at 1:45 in some of the poll locations and 2 o'clock at other locations, it's a bad deal. Kenneth, thank you for that. DB Plus, thank you. Lots of potential scams going on. Amy Heights is saying this is why we need to be out voting early.
To understand that this guy that we like, okay, that we understood from 2016, had to come in here and fight for us, and he's been fighting ever since. Freaking attempts on his life, trying to take all his money, trying to put him in prison. It's taking him that long to realize it. But the one thing I'm confused is, but then you'll see a tweet. What was the tweet, Rob, where he's kind of like liking Kamala, and then it's like the flip-flop flounder situation. I don't understand, Tom. I don't understand how, you go from, CNN saying, in a world.
Cat Joy says, my daughter was raking me over the coals for voting for Trump. Did she have good reasons why she was supporting Kamala Harris, Cat Joy, or what was her thoughts? Thank you for your super chat, by the way.
Of terror and this, the biggest threat is the American person who's not vaccinated. Like, how do you go from that to anti-Trump to Russia collusion to now you're seeing the light? But then when we think that the light is there, then you go back to, Kamala's this and Kamala's praising this. It's confusing, but this type of message I do respect, because he's finally understanding why people like us love a guy that's willing to fight evil with fire.
Well, I think what he said here was correct commentary. I think Chris is saying what he's observing,
Mhm.
and I happen to agree with his observation. I think his observation is correct. At the same time, he can take a breath and then come back and say that, you know, he is more in favor of the policies coming from the left side. So I think both can be true, but I think this was a very objective, because he's right. Do we care if we're sending a savage into the jungle? No, that's what we want. And Trump has said, and I'm going to take Elon with me because I need someone who knows how to work in jungles, and the jungle has been trying to kill Elon. And so Elon's going to come in there and he's going to chop things off the jungle too. So I kind of see it that way. And then there's other things that Cuomo has tweeted over the weekend that I disagreed with, that are in terms of positions. But I thought he was being objective here.
I actually think it's a great take by Cuomo, because he's basically saying you have to understand why the people are voting for Trump. And a lot of people didn't fully recognize what Trump stood for in 2016 and again in 2024, is that they like the fact that he is a chaos candidate. They like the fact that he's a change agent. They like the fact that he's a disruptor. They like the fact that he's a middle finger to the system, because they're basically saying the system has screwed us over. And you know what, Bill Maher always says this: you can hate Trump, but you can't hate the 80+ million Americans that vote for the guy. So that's what Trump represents. You can't judge everyone that votes for Trump based on Trump's personality. And they know that he's sort of an honest liar. But you know who's a bigger liar? The Democrats. And I'll tell you why, if you give me a sec. Because Trump lies about little things. Oh, my hand size, the size of my crowd. But he's actually honest about, yeah, I don't pay taxes, you know, because all your donors do the exact same thing. When the Democrats lie, they lie about big things like you need to get vaccinated to save everyone. Oh, okay, I guess that
the planet.
Yeah. Or that Trump is Hitler. Or, you know, the big lie that they've told is, a man can be a woman. So the lies are a little bit different. Yes, Trump does lie, but he's also an honest liar. And that's what's weird about Trump.
Well, back to Chris, which was what this is about. This is the same Chris that, Pat, I think that we saw at the conventions, where he did a very, very accurate and stirring commentary about the donor class looking down on the people at the convention. This is the same Chris in that lane.
Yeah,
in my view.
I mean, listen, Chris is in a tough spot, because Chris is in a community of people in his friends, family, people closest to him, that fully disagree with him when it comes down to when he every once in a while is complimentary of what Trump is doing or the conservatives are doing, and then he goes home to that. And I'm speculating, guys.
By the way, you guys know yesterday how we spent all of this time talking about the situation with the comedian who made the joke about Puerto Rico. Today, Puerto Ricans went crazy in support of Trump. I mean, there was massive rallies, caravans, people banding together and saying, "Woo, Trump, 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 Trump," and basically saying that the media's attempt to get all the Puerto Ricans mad about the comment that was made just isn't working.
A very special guest here, the former First Lady of the United States. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Everybody put in the comment, in your lifetime, who has been your favorite First Lady? Was it Hillary Clinton? These are the people in my lifetime. Was it Laura Bush? Was it Michelle Obama? Was it Melania Trump? Was it Jill Biden? Some of you might think back to Barbara Bush. You might think back to Nancy Reagan. Who was it, when you think about in your lifetime as a First Lady, who was your favorite First Lady? Now, Jackie Kennedy, a lot of people loved her because she was very classy. I think Melania Trump carries a similar level of class as Jackie Kennedy. She was very classy.
It's my #1 book. Here it is. We've all read it, and I have mine all earmarked and lots of notes. It is fabulous. I'm so proud of you. Lots of wonderful pictures too. Stories about being First Lady. your upbringing. It's just great. You have to pick it up. Everyone should read this book. So thank you for coming on to talk about it. Congratulations. 1 week away. How are you feeling? How's the family?
I feel good. We are feeling good. We are working hard. My husband, he's all over the country traveling. And as we saw Sunday evening, Sunday through the day was an amazing day and a lot of support out there.
Yeah. You've been through the campaign cycle now 3 times, 2016, 2020, 2024. How is this different? Or how is it better? How is it different? How does it compare?
I feel it's kind of the same like 2016. The support out there, it's incredible. And it's just, people see what's going on in the country and what kind of leadership they want. They want prosperity. They want American dream coming back. So that's what we will decide on November 5th.
It's got that feeling.
Yeah.
Mrs. Trump, you made it very clear when your husband decided to run for president, you were going to be a mother, you were going to take care of Barron, and you were going to work on the projects in the White House, but that mattered to you. But you took the stage on Sunday. You surprised the former president, you surprised the entire audience. Why now are we seeing you more on the campaign trail in the final stretch?
Well, it was an incredible place. I love New York City, and I think that people to hear from me on that day, the arena, Madison Square Garden, the support that we have, and I want to support my husband as well. So I was there for him and everybody else.
Are you?
I know you're like the former president, doesn't want to count anything before it's done. But if the polls are correct and you continue the momentum and you win, are you anxious to be First Lady again? Do you want to be First Lady again?
I'm not anxious because this time is different. I have much more experience, much more knowledge. I was in the White House before. So when you go in, you know exactly what to expect. You know what kind of people you need to get. You need to have people that they are.
Now, remember the views actually a couple of weeks ago, actually saying that Melania Trump wanted to murder Donald Trump, wanted to kill him. Does anybody remember that? By the way, where are we at on our goal? We're up to 8 out of 30 on our goal. So I don't know if we're going to get there, but hopefully we can. Thank you for everybody who's supporting through Super Sticker, Super Chat. But yeah, Melania Trump actually has been in this situation where she loves her husband. I think she hates all of the backlash that she's gotten online, and I think she hates the negative rhetoric that comes at her. But I think she's a formidable first lady who had a great platform and fought for causes that were deep to her heart. And one of the things that she wanted to make sure happened was that kids in foster care were taken care of, had scholarships to attend college, and were loved after they age out of the system. And some of the institutions that she were donating money to were not allowing her to actually donate money. How sickening is that? Just because her last name was Trump. It's like, hey, forget for a millisecond about who the person is that's giving the money and think about the person on the receiving end, that it's going to make a difference in their life. And Melania Trump, as far as I can tell, doesn't even have a lot of the same political policies as Donald Trump. But when it comes to the main things, people fighting for prosperity, peace around the world, holding up strong arms against the forces of enemy that's trying to come against our nation, Melania Trump couldn't be a brighter light in this war. I think when people think about Melania Trump, they look to somebody that is aspirational in a whole lot of ways.
On your team, that they have the same vision as me and to serve me because they serve the country.
But the thing is, Melania, in your book, you talk about people that really stabbed you in the back, right? And let you down.
Yes.
And how did that feel to put that in print and finally get your voice to this story?
Well, it's important that people hear my story because it's a lot of misinformation and a lot of mistruths out there. So that's why I wrote the book. And, I wish the best all these people that they go on the back and they need to heal, actually. They need to heal. I wish them all the best. They should be there for the right reasons and not why they were there for.
That's big of you because a lot of people would be angry.
Yeah, it's betrayal. it's betrayal, but they show the world who they are. They need to go to sleep every night,
Right.
and they know what they did, you know, to tape First Lady of the United States on the phone calls and release them to the public and edit those phone calls. It's disgrace, and should never happen to anybody.
That has to be the hardest part, because you
never
trust...
happened in the history to somebody that would do that.
You know, Mrs. Trump, do you feel that there's unfinished business at the White House? Even for you, I know the former president talks about his agenda. He wants to bring inflation and wants to secure the border, but you had projects as well. Do you feel like you got to accomplish everything you wanted in the White House?
We did a lot, but it's still, it never ends. It's so much to do, and to take care of the staff and also the country and our next generation, our children. I accomplished a lot with Be Best and brought Be Best internationally as well. But so much to do, and so many new issues will come in 2025. We never know what will come.
Yeah.
And children are suffering. We need to help them and educate them.
Mrs. Trump, you said that this campaign cycle feels like 2016 in the excitement and enthusiasm and things like that, I would imagine. But something is different in that.
I agree. Like Kat Joy is basically saying that Melania Trump is one of the smartest first ladies that there's ever been. And I couldn't agree more. She speaks 5 languages. Slovenian is her native language, English, French, Serbo-Croatian, and Italian. And I think she can pick up on up to 12 languages from what I understand. It takes a very smart person to be that multilingual. Kenneth, thank you so much for that super chat as well, guys. We are rocking and rolling up to 12 on that goal. It's the first time YouTube's allowed us to have that little goal thing. So thank you, Miss Michelle, for sending to that. Linda Carlino, good to see you as well. Hopefully we can get there.
That is 2 different people tried to kill your husband, and you saw it live on television. This is all different.
It is different. It's much more dangerous, and I'm very vigilant and very selective where I go, what do I do, because you know, you never know. It's one person, and it's dangerous out there.
What do you think about the rhetoric that's out there today? They're still calling your husband a second Hitler. How does that make you feel? Because you know him better than anyone.
Correct. It's terrible. He's not Hitler, and all of his supporters, they're standing behind him because they want to see country successful. And we see what kind of support he has.
Right. Why do you think he does this? He doesn't have to do it. You know, we hear Eric Trump all the time say, my dad could be on a beach, my dad could retire. He has these buildings and businesses. Why do y'all do this? Why'd you choose to do it again?
He loves his country, and he wants to make it successful and for all of the people.
Yeah.
You know, he loves people, and he wants to make this country great again.
Was the hardest part the court cases? Was that one of the hardest things, seeing the indictments and the court cases, especially here in New York City?
Look, it's part of it. It's part of the politics. When we came to the White House the first time when he was elected, I knew it would not be easy, and I knew they would go after him, and they did. Yeah. So I always said, like, what is next?
Great. Given the fact that there have been 2 assassination attempts, when he is at the door, he's about to go to work, do you say something different to him as you send him out the door?
I always said to him, you know, be good luck and be safe. You know, you never know what kind of phone call you will receive and what can happen in life, right? Life is fragile, and we need to enjoy it every day.
Do you feel like God has a purpose now for him? Because this has been 2 attempts, and he's been spared.
Correct.
Right.
Hey, Mrs. Trump,
are you okay with audience questions?
Audience
Yes,
questions.
of course.
Let's go to Craig first.
Yes.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Craig.
Where are you going to spend election night with your family? Hopefully a celebration.
Wait, is this an invitation to your house?
Absolutely.
We will be in Palm Beach, and in the morning we will go to vote. Me and my husband will go to vote, and then it will be, you know, a waiting time, a period of waiting, and we will see. And then I hope it's a success, and a party in the evening.
Do you think that we'll know on Tuesday night?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope that we know. I hope that election will be fair and everything will be, selected, as we say, on Tuesday night.
All right, Joanne, where are you, Joanne? Where do we find you? There you go.
Mrs. Trump, it's a real honor to have you here. I want to tell you thank you. I appreciated your beautiful words and descriptions of New York City during the rally. And my question to you is, how did you present or drop your little pro-choice bombshell on the president in the middle of his career fight for his career? How did you present it to him, and what was his response to you?
Well, my husband knew my position, my belief, since the day we met. So it was not a big surprise for him, right? I guess other people, the world didn't know where my stands are. But he was not surprised at all. He knew about it.
All right, Barbara.
She writes about it in detail in her book. If you
I
wanna-
do.
Yeah.
In the book, it's like a whole chapter about it. So I really explain what I really believe, what really means my body, my choice. It's not one way only, right? So if somebody's interested, they should read it.
All right, Barbara's got a question right over there. Hey, Barbara.
Yes, thank you so much for taking our questions. I know from everything that I've learned about you that you're a very dedicated mom. And as a grandmother of 7 little ones, I'm wondering, do you have any advice or words of wisdom for our young mothers who are working so hard to raise our children in such a challenging society?
Congratulations, 7. It's a lot, right? It's a busy time. I would say that lead with love and take a child as individual. We are all different, and also make sure that you, as a mother, you are healed, so you don't put the issues and trauma and everything to your child. Be cautious and be very, very loving.
That's great advice.
Good advice, yeah.
All right, Brendan. Well, Brendan, last question here. What's on your mind?
Good to be with you.
Thank you. You too.
What would you do, or what would you like to see improved in our country if your husband wins the election next week?
Well, I would like to see country to be safe and prosperous, better economy, and the peace in the world. That's very important.
So Mrs. Trump, you already have this book that's out, number one, but you're releasing the collectibles item
Yes.
of your book. Tell us about
It's a collector's edition it's out in December. It's available on melaniatrump.com, and it's a book that has many more photos, many more pictures, and also through my eyes, the pictures that I took from the White House, from my travels on my iPhone.
Awesome. And in fact, we've got a couple of them.
Oh, you do? Oh,
we
great.
do. This one is,
Fantastic.
we think it's a view from your helicopter
Yes.
as you and the president flew to Italy for a meeting while he was president. What are your recollections of this?
Oh, it was incredible. I flew on a military helicopter, and you talk with the helicopter pilots. You put
You're
the
the headset,
and you talk to them. And I took that photo of Taormina. I was flying there. We were there for G7 summit. It was just incredible sight.
And then you took another one. We have another one from, I think this is from,
Oh, look at
tell
that.
us where this is the White House, the Rose Garden.
This is a Rose Garden, wintertime and Oval Office. You could see the window, and if I would have binoculars, I could see my husband. But it's from my private office room. And this one,
This last one is Halloween decoration.
Halloween decoration from yellow room in the White House, in the residence, looking out on the South Portico.
Spider webs.
Yes.
And one final picture, and that is London.
That is London. We were there for a state visit in UK, and we were passing the mall. You could see it's all cleared out, and we were in the presidential limo, the Beast. So I took that photo very quickly.
From the Beast.
That's right. It turns out first ladies are just like us. You take pictures with your iPhone.
I do. I like to take pictures and for my memories.
So, Mrs. Trump, you have a big surprise for the audience today because
Yes.
they're all going to take home a book, right?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Everybody gets the book. Yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Very nice.
Are you surprised how successful it's been? Number one?
Number one, it's fantastic. I think people really love to hear from me, I guess. Right?
Yep.
So, and
I think a lot of people love to hear from Melania Trump. I love what Cat Joy's saying. Fight, 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 fight. Classic words spoken by Donald Trump. Cat Joy says, have you seen A, Tyler? I think A was here on Faith Friday, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong. So it's been a few days, but maybe they'll be on today. I don't know. But thank you for thinking of them. This is called The Art of the Surge. In the summer of 2024, a documentary filmmaker and his cameraman embedded inside the Donald Trump re-election campaign, the two-person team gained unprecedented access. This is your front row seat. Cat Joy says, Melania is so cute tonight. A lot of people love her. Saturday, July 13th. This is the day he got shot. Wow. Butler, Pennsylvania.
The president is about 90 minutes away. We're outside of Pittsburgh right now. The president gets here in an hour. There's a malfunction with the flag. The team here is doing a great job of trying to fix the flag immediately before the president arrives and walks on the stage from right here. How are you going to fix the flag?
We're going to have to lower the two booms until it slips down.
Dave McCormick just had everyone chant, fix that flag, and get the flag fixed in an hour.
We're going to get the flag unpacked. We're going to swing it over, lower it behind the people, where we can get hands on it, make it manageable, get it straightened out, cable it back up, be ready to rock and roll again.
Is there any chance you can't make it happen by the time you get here?
We'll make it happen. Keep it off that power line, keep it off the crowd. You don't want anybody to get shocked. It's live.
Getting shocked would be bad.
Yeah. It's really heavy. That's a 30 by 60 flag. So it's probably a couple 100 pounds. It's a little rough. So a couple more people came to their rescue. We got her flipped over and we got it.
Sheesh, the comeback of Donald Trump. That situation on July 13th, next level, without a doubt. Here's episode 1. We'll make it happen. 2 weeks earlier, so this would have been the last day of June. This is in Philadelphia.
Tell me a little bit about how you're preparing for the debate. What's your strategy?
Well, this is really the best strategy right here. We have all these people screaming questions, and I look forward to the debate.
We just did Faith and Freedom, as you know, in D.C., and now we're here for a big rally about 10 minutes away at the Temple Arena. It's an honor.
You know, when you go to these urban areas specifically, what is the game plan?
It's no game plan. It's just there's a lot of love. You know, they want hope. The people need hope. I go out, I see the greatest people. So we're in the middle of a pretty rough area, and it's a love fest. You see that? It's incredible. They want hope. They want to have a future. Listen to the people.
Have you ever seen him in person? Nah, I've never seen him in person before. He better become president or I'm moving out of the country. So you're on the plane, right?
Yep.
What are you guys talking about?
Making America great again.
Do you think he's going to win?
For sure.
When did you start supporting Donald Trump? Like, made you?
Right, like I got out of like high school to really understand like the real world.
Did you vote for him in 2016?
Yes.
And 2020?
Yeah.
And you're going to vote for him again?
Yeah.
Do you think Biden's a worthy competitor for the debate?
I think Biden is the worst president in the history of our country.
That's right,
I think he's
President.
destroying our country.
Absolutely. What do you think of Joe Biden?
Trump. We going for Trump.
Who do you like as VP?
I like you running the whole country the way you did.
Who do you like? JD Beats. You like JD? We're leading in Virginia. We're leading in Minnesota. That one hasn't been won since 1972.
Who's the vice president pick that you're going to choose?
We have a lot of them. You know, it's just as who do you like? Who do you like? And there was so many different answers. We have a lot of good ones. I'll be announcing it right around the time of the convention. I look forward to the debate, but the debate's not the big deal. The big deal is what have you done?
By the way, no taxes.
Don't you think that if Kamala Harris was shot, ultimately what would end up happening would be she would not do any more public events? I mean, she rarely does public events at this point, but I think they would be just hammering on it. So unsafe. Everybody's out to get her. Obviously, she's carrying a message that everybody needs to have, or else they wouldn't be coming after her. Donald Trump gets shot, and it's like the whole media just pretends like it never actually even happened. It's so berserko to me. Like, think about how bad everyone disliked Kamala Harris up until the day that Joe Biden dropped out of the race. Joe Biden drops out of the race, and everybody's like, Kamala Harris is the queen of the world. Woo-hoo! It's really crazy.
Tonight, Trump saying his yet-to-be-named running mate will be at the debate and that he's made his choice, but hasn't told anyone who it will be. Sources tell NBC News the focus has been on 3 top contenders, each with a history of being critical of Trump.
Feeling confident before the debate?
Yeah, we're going to do fine, I think. You never know, right? You never know, but I think we're going to do good.
CNN.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, you got 3 on 1.
Yep.
But that's all right. We've got it before, right?
That's true.
Seven exactly.
It's a beautiful crowd, a lot of energy. Huh? I think Biden could do this. I don't think so. Play this thing down a little bit. Yeah. No, well, the best is really great with it, right? But we have a lot.
And Elvis.
And Polo. We got a lot of. James Brown power, that's energy though. James Brown. You're better off. Because if you knew what you were doing, you'd never do it, right?
You'll start fading in 15 seconds, all right?
Let's wrap it down.
30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next president of the United States. Next to me and defenders today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
So no cheesesteaks over to your plate here.
No, that would be
We're
gonna have.
We have time.
Huge.
Difference 4 years ago. 100%.
Don't let it go. Oh, that's it. Great job, everybody. Thank you. Fantastic job. Except Marco.
Georgia, a key battleground state in the race for the White House. The current U.S. president will debate the former U.S. president's first in American history.
This is a pivotal moment between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump in their rematch for the nation's highest office.
On my drive here, I saw throngs of people supporting Donald Trump. I saw a handful of people protesting Donald Trump. I did not see a single one supporting Joe Biden.
We are so happy to roll out the red carpet because Georgia is Trump country.
Former President Donald Trump touched down at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, greeted by a group of supporters near the tarmac.
The chair of the Republican Party in DeKalb County, and we are going to vote DeKalb red, and we're going to vote for President Trump like you've never seen before. You're going to make Joe Biden regret that he's standing there for an hour and a half.
I think Joe Biden regrets standing there for an hour and a half. By the way, can you guys just real quick do a little Donald Trump dancing with me? Donald Trump is the funniest dancer that there is in America, but I love it.
You're going to eat his lunch.
There is so much energy here. People are really eagerly anticipating his arrival. People have been out here for hours. They said they wanted to make sure that they secured their spot, and they got right up against the fence.
Joe must go! Joe must go!
People are hungry to be proud of this country again, and that energy is, I think, something that Trump is bringing that nobody else is.
That's it. That's it.
That's how we'll go with Donald Trump.
I've actually got to work on my dance moves for when I run for president. Joe, LOL. Funny, Cat Joy. Thank you, Miss Michelle. Thank you, Cat Joy. Looking at our goal, guys, we might make it. Actually, we're 8 away from our super chat goal. Has to be a super chat for it to work, apparently, on our the way that YouTube is doing it now. It's the first time they've ever let us do this goal thing, but we're 8 away. First time that there's ever a goal. Has to be $5 on a super chat for it to work, at least. Hey, Miss Michelle. Linda Carlino says our company needs Trump. Vote, 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 vote. I'm going to get out there and vote. I can tell you that. I love Miss Michelle's little dance emoji. So funny.
Bro, we out here in Atlanta, we're in the streets, though. Streets voting for Donald Trump. How do you think he's going to do at the debate? I think Trump will obviously be victorious, win the debate. I just think it's great that he's out here showing people that he'll keep going in and, stand up to the mob, you know what I'm saying, which is big. A lot of people are starting to switch over, support Trump. Trump's definitely got the black vote back. Even the people over there, they confused, they brainwashed. Black Lives Matter, they out here. Black Lives Matter as a saying? Like, do Black Lives Matter? Yes. Organization's a crock of shit, man. Know what I mean? Joe Biden don't care about black people. How many homeless black people, those people drive by to come here to hang these signs up today? They drove by tons of them. Immigrants is getting this money all day. This is the immigrants' place right now. Trump is the only person out here that wants us to make money. Trump's the only person out here that wants the economy to get good. He cares about your family. Joe Biden don't care about your family. One thing about it, if you're going to support Trump and you on the battlegrounds like I am, get out here, drive, make that extra drive. Get out there, put your flags up. Don't be afraid to wear your hat, man. This is our country. We can wear our hats. We don't got to be afraid to wear our hats. Don't got to be afraid to rep Trump. You don't got to be afraid to be proud that your president's trying to save your life. You know what I'm saying? There's no problem with that.
Well, the stage is officially set. Both candidates for tonight's debate are in Atlanta at this hour, gearing up for the debate set to take place in just 3 hours.
Joe Biden doesn't have a plan for America. Kamala Harris doesn't have a plan for America. So they're focused on, let's get them.
Out here is what's called the spin room. And it's exactly that, because this floor will be full of people who are campaign aides or supporters spinning the message for their candidate and spinning the message of their challenger.
So Corey, you were here in a similar position 8 years ago. Whew.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
You and Hopix were doing everything. You're
Yeah.
like a two-man band.
Yeah.
Honestly. How's it different now?
Oh, it's completely different. Donald Trump is a completely different candidate. He has a breadth of knowledge, which he probably didn't possess 4 years ago or 8 years ago when we started this, that now is going to come out. And he's ready for tonight. He's ready to lay out his vision for America. Donald Trump is the president of peace. If you want war, go the other way. If you want peace, I think Donald Trump's your man. And that's a big part of why he has my support as well.
I think people have come to realize that our politics was being run by people who had forgotten that the source of our greatness was hardworking, everyday Americans. Every country has rich people, every country has famous people, but the people that led this country are completely isolated and out of touch with millions and millions of hardworking Americans from all across the country. And the priorities of our government were the priorities of white-collar workers living in New York who made a lot of money off globalization, while the rest of the country was getting screwed by losing our factories and jobs. Trump tapped into it. He gave voice to it. And I think the outrage over his candidacy revealed how out of touch the establishment in both parties had become.
What do you expect from this? Obviously, he's about to walk into the CNN studio, which might be more dangerous than when he went to North Korea. So, what do you think's going to happen?
I don't think those external things are going to impact Trump.
This is the CNN presidential debate.
Matter of days, he's going to be picking up.
Tell me, let's predict who wins. Does Joe Biden or Donald Trump win the debate? We already know the answer to that. I love watching this little documentary, though.
Vice president, potentially. And, there's a lot of people in this room that are under contention for that. You're one of them, obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
when do you expect that call to come?
Well, I don't know. That's his decision to make. But the good news is he's got like 10 people to pick from that are all better than Kamala Harris. So whoever he picks, he's going to be great. He's always good at picking people like that. And there may be people that aren't vice president that are in this room that are going to get a chance to serve in other positions in his administration that are critically important. I think it matters who the Secretary of Treasury is, of Energy, State, Attorney General. So the good news is we are blessed with a lot of really talented people. And the Democratic Party's got Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I mean, that's not very impressive. And for Trump, I mean, his preparation has always been he's out there talking to voters, giving speeches, talking to people out there. And, that's the way he's always prepared. I was joking on the bus that when I was running for president, I was like, we were there for 2 days getting ready, and this guy would fly in on his plane, do the debate, and leave. And I'm like, that guy's winning. We're losing. Why don't we do that?
Right.
Except we didn't have a plane.
Right.
Now, please welcome the 46th president of the United States, Joe Biden.
Biden's walking out right now. What do you expect tonight? Do you think Biden won well?
I think we've made a mistake in the Republican side where we've really lowered expectations. If he comes out here and he has a pulse, the media's going to say, oh, Biden exceeded expectations, when the standard is not, are you able to stand up for 90 minutes? It's, are you actually able to deliver a message? So I think that we have to be realistic here that it's going to be a disaster by any objective standard, but the media has played the expectations game in a way that I think is going to benefit Biden. I think Trump is just fundamentally way better. So no matter how the media tries to spin it, I think the average person watching at home is going to say, well, clearly one guy has the energy to do the job and one guy doesn't. And I think that's the way in which the debate will be best for Trump. But we'll see. I think the big advantage for Biden here is there's no audience, right? Like Trump feeds off of people, which is important. Like when you're leading human beings, you have to be able to interact with them. I think it's a huge disadvantage for Trump that they don't have. It's already starting out terribly for Biden, which is good. But
I can't even understand him right now.
No, I can't.
You know what he's even saying?
No, and he coughs in the beginning. It just Biden does not sound good right now. So we'll see.
To $15 for a insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they conclude beginning next year. His debt, we'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, childcare, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right, he did beat Medicare, he beat it to death. I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, he's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying. It's so bad with Afghanistan. We are living in a rat's embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Migrant crime. Our veterans are on the street, they're dying. He left American citizens behind. Suckers and losers. The whole world is blowing up under him. He should apologize to me right now.
Right now, as we speak.
I think it's safe to say that Trump won that debate. The next president, Donald Trump. Kenneth says Trump advanced 2024. Jennifer Swain says, y'all are awesome.
There is a deep, a wide, and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party. It started minutes into the debate, and it continues right now.
I think the worst moments for Joe Biden really came at the very opening of the debate.
Yeah, they were a disaster for Biden. I mean, it's just not good. It's bad for the country. Like I said, they're watching. I mean, our adversaries have television, you know, they have TVs, and they're going to get to see this, and they make analysis about all this.
I think it was fairly embarrassing that the rest of the world gets to see this.
He didn't do well at all. He did not do well at all.
The Biden campaign has collapsed, disintegrated. Joe Biden is clearly a man in decline.
It's clear he's unfit to be president of the United States. He's unfit to be an elected official. It was an overwhelming win by President Trump.
Do you feel like he did what he needed to on an issue that could motivate voters in the polls?
I think it's significantly insignificant.
They're already talking about trying to replace him. Look, this debate tonight will have long-term repercussions.
President Biden had one job tonight. He had to settle his own party. Joe Biden's job was to reassure them tonight. He did not do that. He did the opposite of that.
Said, okay, brilliant. The end of Joe, I think. We hit him hard. Felt very good. He's a bad guy. Thank you.
I think it's critical if he were CEO and he turned in a performance like that. Would any corporation in America, any Fortune 500 corporation in America, keep him on as CEO?
Donald Trump had an amazing night, an amazing debate.
Ever wonder what food is served on Trump Force One?
The meal is here.
Double quarter pounder with cheese, 10 chicken nuggets, fries, warm. Sure came. Obviously, the sauces that you get here: tangy, barbecue, ranch, 2 McDonald's ketchup packets. Meal of champions. Certainly a victory party tonight for the team up there.
I personally really like McDonald's, so that's another reason why I think I could be president.
More fallout from President Joe Biden's poor debate performance this week. It has campaign surrogates on the defense.
Less than 24 hours after that first big
Former President
presidential debate,
Donald Trump in Virginia after a strong debate last night. President Biden telling terrified Democrats.
Guys, I think it's clear that Donald Trump's going to win.
Last night, former President Barack Obama was campaigning for Harris in Philadelphia and had yet another condescending message for men daring to vote for Donald Trump.
And I've noticed this especially with some men who seem to think Trump's behavior is somehow a sign of strength. You know, sort of the macho, fake macho thing. And, you know, I'm here to tell you that's not what real strength is. It never has been. Real strength's about working hard. Real strength's about taking responsibility. Real strength is about telling the truth, even when it's inconvenient. Real strength is about being confident enough to treat everybody with dignity and respect. Real strength is about helping people who need it and standing up for those who can't always stand up for themselves.
When I hear this guy, it sounds like Donald Duck. That's what it sounds like.
Joining us now to break down the latest in Pennsylvania is a woman who knows it very well. She knows the politics there perhaps better than anyone. Washington Examiner's national political reporter, Selena Zito. Selena, great to have you back on. So how do you see things right now in Pennsylvania?
Well, thanks for having me on. And I am so glad that you brought up Obama's appearance in Philadelphia. He had an appearance in Pittsburgh just a couple weeks ago with the same sort of condescending tone. And I just think people need to remember something important about my state, in that in 2008, Barack Obama won my state handily. It was almost 11 percentage points. But by 2012, he went from aspirational and hope and change and kept the New Deal coalition as part of his coalition. He shed that coalition for the Ascendant coalition and became very condescending, very mocking, and sort of that same tone that you just heard in that speech. And he left 286,000 voters on the table. They just did not vote for him again in 2012. Didn't vote for Mitt Romney either. They just stayed home. And so I think it's a really big mistake to bring him in to Pennsylvania for the closing, because it's such a negative tone that he is sort of selling for the final message. So I just want to make sure that I said that. But, you know, in the state, we've seen the polls. It's tied. However, I would rather be Donald Trump in these closing days than I would be with Harris. She has struggled in this state. She's not particularly a good fit for this state, and it has showed in the events that she has had, which have been almost all invite only. There's not a real sense of what the enthusiasm is, and the message, you know, has been not one that earns voters' trust, right? The skepticism of her in Pennsylvania is her positions on a number of things. And let's
honestly, I think most people in Pennsylvania do not like her.
We just saw former President Trump sit down for a wide-ranging interview with podcast host Joe Rogan. But it's not looking promising that we'll see the same with Vice President Harris. Rogan posting this on X: for the record, the Harris campaign has not passed on doing the podcast. They offered a date for Tuesday, but I would have had to travel to her, and they only wanted to do an hour. I strongly feel that the best way to do it is in the studio in Austin. My sincere wish is to just have a nice conversation and get to know her as a human being. I really hope we can make it happen. Kaylee, I was struck by, in the episode with Donald Trump, that Joe Rogan's first question off of the bat, he didn't play it, but he referenced The View. When just a couple years ago, Donald Trump was on with the ladies of The View, and they said, our friend. There were kisses, there were hugs, there was love. He was running for president then, and he brought up and said, wow, the machine has turned against you. And that, I felt, set the scene, set the stage for a very honest, open conversation about how the world sort of went from idolizing Donald Trump, revering him as a character, a main character in the fabric of American society, to somehow, after he actually won the presidency, to turning around and having him in the, to quote Joe Biden, crosshairs.
Yes, and you hit the nail on the head when we talked about Joe Rogan. I forget your exact phrasing, but it was, if you're a listener of curiosity, I know.
Subscriber to curiosity.
Subscriber to curiosity, you listen to Joe Rogan. Kamala should have done this. She was in Texas. There's no reason not to stop by his studios. I had a mom say to me when we were at practice for our daughters, I feel like I've gotten to know Donald Trump through these podcasts. He's not the monster everyone pictures him to be. He's real, he's authentic. And these 3-hour-long episodes give people a chance to see who he is authentically. Why Kamala Harris would miss out on that opportunity, I do not know, but it is indeed a missed opportunity.
And it's hard, Kennedy, because in conjunction with her decline.
Okay, I want to ask you guys a question. If I win president of the United States, what job do you want in my cabinet? Like, if I win the election, what job do you want to have? Okay.
Are just like
A couple of things happened. This guy, number one, is at Harris's rally in Washington, D.C. Today. And there is cell phone technology that actually tracks where people are coming from. So there's like 30,000 people at Kamala Harris's rally. And most of those people have been to at least 3 of her rallies already. So where are they coming from? 6,500 of them came from California to be at a rally, and they've been at 3 or more of her rallies. So what does that tell you? To me, it tells me that there is a group of, like, I don't know, at least, I don't know the number, a large number of people that just go rally to rally to rally to rally, and her crowd's the same people over and over again. And then the media tries to make it seem like something special is going on. And not only that, but the people there are actually pro-Hamas. Could you imagine in this day and age being pro-Hamas? I couldn't.
Yo, I'm outside Kamala's Ellipse rally here in DC, and literally the whole crowd going back into the Ellipse are just like Free Palestine Jew haters. Take a look. It's her whole crowd. I kid you not, her whole crowd. It's the whole crowd. See, some Democrats want to deny it. It's the whole crowd.
It's the whole crowd except for that one kid that was standing there.
Kamala Harris and her Indian voters, I guess, hate Jews. I don't know. It's wild. Just take a look at this. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. Talking about some revolution. They want a revolution. I don't know. Let's just watch this. Literally, I can't stress this enough. This is.
They're basically saying we want to annihilate Israel, and we're here to support Kamala Harris because we believe that she's our best chance and hope at destroying that nation.
Her whole crowd. They're either Boston people or Free Palestine people. There's no normal people. No normal people. Oh. Antifa Revolution. Antifa Revolution. Very nice shirt. Take a look. Oh, long live the Antifada. These people are nuts. They're nuts. This is what you get if you vote for Kamala. These fine people will be coming to your neighborhood. So make sure you get out and vote for Donald J. Trump. Before I go, let's just listen to these people chant. Ridiculous. Stay tuned for more.
I cannot believe this. Amy Height says, press secretary, I already have the press kits ready. Okay, let's have the press grill you and see how you do, Amy Heights. Kat Joy says, best podcast ever. Woo-wee, you're rocking and rolling with that. That was the goal. That is the red one. So you helped us reach that goal for sure, Kat Joy. Thanks to participants, Tyler Feller just reached the goal. What's the goal? Vance Feller 2028. Vance and Feller. Okay, let me just see Trump's outreach to Coptic Christians, active shooter incident at Atlanta's Four Seasons. Barbara Bush endorses Kamala Harris. Seriously, Barbara Bush, if you lost your mind. JD Vance scheduled for the Joe Rogan podcast.
Thought here, and it's very simple. If you think about what this election is about, you don't have to agree with me on every issue. You don't have to agree with Donald J. Trump on every issue. But think about the big tent coalition that we've assembled. On the right, we've got people like Brian Kemp, Nikki Haley. On the left, we've got people like Tulsi Gabbard and Bobby Kennedy. This is the common sense coalition that's ready to take this country in a more positive direction. But it's very simple. Kamala Harris broke it, and Donald Trump will fix it.
Very simple. Very simple.
Assassination attempts in just over 3 months. Her lies and her slanders are very shameful and really inexcusable. And I can say that if I were president and somebody was being threatened, openly threatened like they've threatened me, I would say, if you do that, even if this was an opponent who I disliked, if you do that, we will obliterate your entire country and it would all stop. But they wouldn't make that statement.
I agree with everything that he's saying right there. No doubt about it. Well, let's take a second, as we always do, and pray for our beautiful nation, the United States of America. So let's pray together. Lord, we love you, and we are so grateful for this amazing nation that we believe you founded to bring hope to the world. And God, I pray that in the next week, as Americans are fighting with one another, that you would actually use this as a season for people to draw close to you. And we just rebuke a spirit of division, and we act in an opposite spirit, and we bring a spirit of unity. And so I bless everybody that's watching right now. And Lord, I pray in the mighty name of Jesus that they be filled with your peace. We speak healing over every single person in the chat right now who needs healing in their body. I command all pain. It must go now in Jesus' name. Thank you, Lord, for what you did for us on the cross. It's by your stripes and by your wounds that we are healed. And so, Lord, I believe that there's healing virtue that can run and rush through every single person's body. So we bless them in the name of Jesus. And everybody says, amen, 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 amen. Well, thank you guys for being on the stream with us. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitter or X, I guess, glad to have you. And we will be back again very, very soon. This is one of the most important weeks in our lifetime. And so let's stay vigilant. Let's remain peaceful and calm, but let's also stand for our convictions. All right? Be back soon.